So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the options that this company has. One option was that they go international. So they're still selling shoes, but they're going to sell them in other countries. And we'll just ask ourselves the same question. Do you think that they would be able to have a very large inventory selection in another country? And probably, you can argue this, but it'll probably take some time to develop that in another country, right? To develop as all the suppliers to supply in that other location. How about customer service? Can you get that quality of customer service in another country? Probably it would be difficult. You have to train all these people. Maybe you could send a few people from your customer service over to the other location to build it up, but will it really pick up? There is some factors of culture. There's some local factors. There's who are you hiring? Who can you hire from? What's the attitude of the people you hire? You're not fully sure. Maybe you can do it. I'll put a question mark, but there's definitely a big question, or maybe it's just hard. Information management, that one you could probably make work. You could get your software to run in another country, probably not a big challenge. Full price on the internet. Hard enough to get full price in the internet in US. It's very dependent on the other country, the culture in the other country, whether people shop that way, what's their mindset when they're buying something on the internet. So this one is probably a bit of a challenge. Logistics, I'm going to say somewhere around question mark, maybe a little bit difficult because you just have to be able to move the things around at this other location. It's taken them some time to learn how to do this. And then culture. So developing the Zappos culture in the other country, I think it kind of goes with the customer service. Same idea, probably will be a bit difficult. Okay, so maybe I'm being overly conservative about this. Maybe they could be more successful, but you kind of get the idea that it's definitely not trivial to go international with shoes. Okay. Your other option as Zappos is, well, why don't we try some products that are not shoes but stay in US? And so same thing, can you get a very large inventory selection? Well, now you've got all kinds of new products for which you have to get inventory, so maybe that will be hard. And then can you get your customer service to be that good? And that can be hard now too, because now you have to be very knowledgeable about products that you already don't know that much about, and maybe about many, many different kinds of products. All right, the information management system, probably that's not such a big challenge. Full price on the internet. That one, I think it can be a challenge. We're talking about different products. Hard to really say, but until you can show that it can be done, I think it really depends on the product category that you're talking about. Logistics, you could probably non-shoes. The problem with non-shoes is now everything is coming in different sizes. The equipment that you've set up right now is made for shoes, not necessarily made for different sizes of items. So at least a question mark, what would happen there? And then culture. Culture for non-shoes, again, you have to kind of like the product a lot or love the product to be able to talk about it, to have the depth in it. So maybe hard, maybe they can learn it, but there's some question marks whether you can do that. And then the final category is the Powered by Zappos category. And in the Powered by Zappos category, that means they're going to do what they're doing, but they're going to do it for other people. So can they have the inventory selection? Of course they can, because it's exactly what they're doing now. Can they have the customer service? Well, it's what they're doing now. Information management system? Sure, That's what they're doing now. Full price on the internet. Well, hard to say because they're not sure that what they're doing now can keep full price on the internet. But if they can do it at all, then yeah, it should. If they can do it for shoes in U.S. on their Zappos site, then they can probably do it for other people's sites, probably. Okay, logistics, okay, probably, that's because they're doing it now, and culture, at least as good as they're doing now. So if they have some issues with culture, they'll still have those issues, but they'll do at least as well as they're doing now. Okay, so if you look at this kind of chart that we've filled out, and you now look at the options going international, first glance, now your analysis would be, this doesn't look like such a great option. There's a lot of challenges here. If you look at the non-shoes, still a lot of challenges. So you might be able to do it, but you got to be at least careful about what those other products would be. Maybe there are some products where this would work out okay, but in general, if it's just a matter of selling any product, you're not getting a bunch of check marks here. And powered by Zappos. This is an easier winner. It's an easier sell to the board. It really stands on top of the core competence that this company already has. So much more likely that they'll be successful with it. As we complete this chart and we look at these options, one thing you should think about is that before we did the chart, everything seemed like a good option. You could go international, or you could sell non-shoes, or the powered by Zappos. They all seem reasonable. But as you do the chart and you look at your core competencies and you look at what would be more likely for you to be successful, things start to look different. In other words, the picture becomes much more clear. And that's the value of taking the time to go through the analysis, or at least the analysis in this way.